Another example of a combination circuit, it's we have a resistor and then it branches out. So we have a parallel relationship here. The equivalent of the combination of these two resistors is going to be in series with this resistor that is going to be added in a series manner to get an R total. A good technique of keeping everything organized is forming tables, tabulating everything. That way it's easier to keep track, it's easier for you to find the information, and it's easy to always look at it and make sure that you are doing the calculations correctly, that your voltages are adding up to the source, that your currents are adding up to the total currents, that your power are adding up to your total power. So it's important to tabulate. So that way you just keep track of what is being solved for and what is have been calculated already. So right here, I didn't work out this problem. They are just giving us the solutions, but basically you will have to do a parallel combination of these two, call that equivalent 1, then add that to this, call that equivalent 2, or your R total. So you can do that on your own. You have the answers right here. Let's move on. So it says Kirchhoff's law can be applied as a check of the answers. Notice that the current in R1 is equal to the sum of the branch currents in R2 and R1. The sum of the voltages around the outside loop is 0. Yes. So here they are saying that you can still know that R1, because R1 is in series with the source, so R1 has to be the same as I total. That I2 and I3, they have to sum up or add up to I1, because what happens, the current comes here, some splits this way, some splits that way, but then at this point right here, this current comes in here, this current comes into here, they add up into I total. So R1 plus I3 has to be equals to I1, and we see that I1 is 21.6 and I2 is 12.7 and I3 is 8.9. So if we add them up, it's add up to I total. So we see that it makes sense what they are saying here. Loaded voltage divider. Loading effect is a big issue when we are designing. You have to be careful when you are designing, because if you don't know what is going to be connected or what is going to be your load, like in this example, they are telling us that it's R3, our load. So the output voltage is going to be taken from point A. So if we just do a voltage divider analysis without taking into consideration what is the value of our R load, we might experience loading effect. Loading effect becomes dominant especially if the load is not big enough. So let's see what it says here. Loading voltage. The voltage divider equation was developed for a series circuit. Recall that the output voltage is given by that. Yes. If we don't know what the RL is, which you always have to ask when you are designing a circuit to be powered or connected into something else, you have to know if the load is only resistive, if the load has some capacitance, some inductance in there. So because that will change your output voltage, and in essence we change the whole dynamics of the circuit. So you have to ask, you have to know what it is. A voltage divider with resistive load is a combination circuit that the voltage divider is said to be loaded. The loading reduces the total resistance from node A to the ground. Yes, so if this is a small compared to that, what's going to happen? The equivalent of the combination of these two resistors, they are in parallel. You always connect your load in parallel to the output. So if this is too small, what is going to happen? The output equivalent of those two resistors is going to be smaller than this value. So that's going to reduce the value of this resistor drastically, which means the voltage is going to drop exponentially here, and that's a big mistake. You have to be careful. You have to understand what loading is. So there are some guidelines that we can follow for loading. So let's do this. For example, what is the voltage across R3? So they're asking us what is the voltage across R3, which will be the same voltage across R2. Why? Because these two resistors are connected in parallel, so it should be the same. So how do? We have to find an equivalent for the combination of R2 and R3. So we say the equivalent series circuit by combining R2 and R3. Then apply the voltage divider formula to the equivalent circuit. So R2 and R3 is in parallel. So we have 470 times 2200 divided by 470. 2200 kilo ohms. So we get that is at 387. So the equivalent of these two, the parallel resistance equivalent of these two is 387. 387 and 330 are very close together. So it's safe to say that we could expect that the 15 is going to split evenly here. A little bit more from equivalent 1 here, because this is a higher value, but mostly very close to the middle. And we get to have 8.10 volts. Okay, what will happen if R3 changes? So here it is, voltage, step voltage divider. If our load changes, if our load instead of being 2200 is smaller than 470, the result will be catastrophic, right? So they are trying to show us a graph right here that says a step voltage divider is one in which the low voltage nearly the same as the no low voltage. To accomplish this, the low current must be small compared to the bleeder current. The bleeder current is the current that is going to go through here. Or RL is large compared to the divider resistor. Yes, so something acceptable here. This is what they're telling us, that when you design, you have to make sure that your RL is at least 10 times greater than your R output. In this case, your R2. So the RL has to be 10 times greater than R2 for you to successfully avoid loading effect. This is very important. This is an interview question that your employer will ask you. What is loading effect? How can you prevent loading effect? And so the way you prevent it is by making sure that your RL is 10 times as larger than your R2, or your R2 is 10 times smaller than your RL. Whichever way you want to put it, it is the same thing. So if R1 and R2 is equals to 1K, what are the value of R? Will make the divider a step voltage divider. What fraction of the unloaded voltage is the loaded voltage? So we have RL has to be 10 times greater than R2. RL should be 10K or greater to avoid that. And if we follow this simple rule right here, we are going to still suffer. We are going to still decrease our output voltage by a 5%. But 5% is better than a 50%. So you have to keep that in mind. Another thing that it has to be very important is that don't try to design something to be 95% unless you're working for the military or the medical field. 95% is okay. So you have to find a trade-off. Where is the sweet point where it doesn't cost too much money, but it's still good enough? And that is where you're going to get paid. For you to find that key point that is going to save your employer money, but it's going to give your employer a good product. So that is loading effect, and that's how you solve, and that's how you deal with it. So we are going to stop right here.